The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. Dubby's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by Dubby, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. Dubby's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/discount/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. Dubby Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outkast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com. What's going on, y'all? It is Tuesday morning. It's time for the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, hanging out with you here live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on X, and, of course, on YouTube via Tipton Sports Broadcasting Network and, of course, the Under the Hood podcast channel. Shout out to our friends over at Under the Hood. Hoping that everyone is having themselves a great day so far. Had a wonderful weekend. Whether you were barbecuing, doing all that stuff, let's not forget the sacrifice that people have given for us to enjoy the rights and things that we have here in this country. Now, one of the things that I got to enjoy this weekend was an amazing fireworks show over at Southwest University Park. The El Paso Chihuahuas had themselves a heck of a homestand this week. Unfortunately, they didn't win the homestand, but you know what? At least they played good, and we had two fireworks shows. Keith Angle saying, "Good morning, Tip. Good to see you. Good to see you as well, my friend. Hope that everything is going well with you." Be sure to check out Keith and his YouTube channel as well. You'll see him going live. I want to say it's daily. It's been a while. Like Keith, this position, you know better than anyone else, has kept me kind of like out of the loop with everything. So please, Keith, remind me again of what your schedule is for all of your shows and everything that you got going on. Great insight by our guy, Keith Angle. All right. Another thing that I was really happy to see this weekend was my San Antonio Spurs absolutely dominating. And I mean, taking the soul out of the Oklahoma City Thunder. That flopping ass team looking like a bunch of fish out of water. The Oklahoma City Thunder. It's been a long time, a really long time, since I can say these words about any team in sports. I absolutely hate the way that the Oklahoma City Thunder play basketball. It is garbage. It is hard to watch. And it is everything that is wrong with what people say about basketball so far. With what everyone has said is wrong with the NBA over the last couple of years. is all culminating together in just how bad this Oklahoma City Thunder team plays basketball. It's not fun. The fact that a two-time MVP is nothing but a foul-baiting pansy is insane to me. Back-to-back MVPs for a guy who you can go right now and watch a 5-minute video from just game 4 of how he was trying to foul bait. That's our MVP in the NBA right now. That's the guy that everyone wants to crown as one of the greatest of all time. I was watching, I guess it was Get Up the other day, or it was First Take. It was one of the two. And I'm watching Jalen Rose talk about SGA and, basketball and all that stuff. And this is just not fun basketball to watch when it comes down to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Augustine tuning in saying, good morning, everybody. BW. And it's W Energy. Be better. That's the way that we say it, Augustine. Be better, Augustine. Just like the Oklahoma City Thunder need to be better. This style of basketball they play, Augustine, you're an old head like me. Maybe it's just us being old dudes. This is tough to watch. And this is coming after yesterday. What's up, Joseph? Hope that you're having yourself a good old time, my friend. Over on YouTube. Watching yesterday's basketball game, right, between the Cavs and the Knicks. The Knicks play a good style of basketball. The Cavs also play a pretty decent style of basketball. The Spurs play a good style of basketball. But then you sit there and you watch the Oklahoma City Thunder. And it's tough to watch. I'm not saying it as a Spurs fan. I'm saying it as a guy that loves basketball. Diary Osman saying, is it real? I don't know what's real. Everything is an illusion, just like time. We can say time is an illusion, but time is a man-made construct that we came up with just out of nowhere. Who was the person that decided that midnight was midnight? Oh, look at that. Galaxy brain thinking going on right here. Our guy Keith Engel saying Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern with Jack Hirsch. Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, the College Sports Huddle. Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, MLB update. Sunday, Stream of Consciousness, 9 a.m. Eastern. Jesus Christ, my guy. You need to take a break every now and then. And then he goes on to say, go Knicks. The one thing Keith and I have in common is our love for the Yankees. I forget that you're a New York sports guy other than the New England Patriots, who you have all your love for. But there we go. Augustine saying that the basketball is very tough to watch. OKC is proving to be the way I see that way. It's a-hole basketball. It really is. Like it's just flopping around. Just flopping around. Keith saying, LOL, midnight is not midnight. I need help. I'm just saying, like again, who was the person that decided that these words coming out of my mouth meant what these words coming out of my mouth mean? Right? We as human beings created all this stuff. We didn't create what midnight was, or I guess we did create what midnight was. Why not have a 48-hour clock of 30-minute increments? You know what I mean? Like there's a bunch of different things. Like time is a man-made construct. For the majority of our 4.6 billion years that this planet has been around, no concept of time. For us as human beings, the majority of the 100,000 years that humans have been around in some sort of existence, time was not a thing. Hell, we didn't even come up with this calendar until what, the 1750s? So come on now. It's all man-made. It's all an illusion. How dare we fall for it? Tommy tuning in at the wrong time saying, what's up, Tip? What's up, Tommy? Hope that you're having yourself a great day so far. Augustine saying, so here's the question. Every time I hear Augustine say, so here's the question, I think of Chris Collinsworth, like where he's like, so here's a guy. All right, Augustine. So here's the question. The way Oklahoma City is playing is the answer to Wemby and company. We don't care about the right way of playing as long as we get the W. Is this way that Oklahoma City is playing the answer to the Wemby question? The answer to that, I think, has to be no, right? Like, Wemby's been getting his. The Spurs have been getting theirs. The thing is that you look at the games the Spurs have lost. It's Oklahoma City takes the other guys out of the thought process, right? Like, they take them out of their game. Keith Engel saying that's a very George Carlin-like thinking. I used to love like George Carlin comedy. I've got to go back and watch some of it. I do know there's a lot of stuff that I liked, but I don't know if I should be insulted or if I should be happy, but I like George Carlin, so I'm going to take that as a compliment, Keith. Thank you very much. Is the way Oklahoma City plays the answer to the Wemby question? And I've got to say no. Right? Like, we're seeing the thing. There we go. Keith saying that I got to be happy. Thank you, Keith. I appreciate it. I will be happy. We're seeing the issue that I said the San Antonio Spurs have this entire postseason, which is they're young. They're going to be inconsistent because they don't know how to deal with these situations. Hell, you look at it the other day. Mitch Johnson pulls Carter Bryant aside, gives him a couple of like, hey, man, we need you. We need you. You got to lock in. You got to be on this. And the kid almost starts crying. And then you got to remember to yourself, this is a 19-year-old kid that we're watching in the NBA right now that has never had to deal with the type of pressures that he's having to deal with at this exact moment, right? You develop that thick skin. You develop that hardened, I want to win no matter what attitude through a ton of losses. The reason why Wembanyama's already there is because he lost to Chet Holmgren in a FIBA World Cup type basketball thing whenever he was 16 years old. 6 years ago, this happened. And Wemby has held on to that, losing the MVP to Chet Holmgren because Chet Holmgren's team won, but Wemby outplayed him in every aspect of the game. Wemby has held on to that and used that as hate fuel for his entire career. Thus, every time he plays basketball against Chet Holmgren, he eats a part of his soul. The Spurs, other players don't have that, though, because they didn't play at that type of level throughout high school, throughout college, right, where it's so much easier, where you kind of know who the best teams in college basketball are, and if you lose in the NCAA tournament, it can be chalked up to a million different things. It just wasn't your day. The other team had the sun shining on their ass that day, right? Like, there's so many things that you can make up in these scenarios whenever you lose in the NCAA tournament. But whenever you have the pressures of a 7-game series there, and you either win 4 or you lose 4, and you're starting to feel all that pressure of, damn, like we're this close to winning the NBA championship. All we have to do is handle our business. You get that through maturation. We're watching right now the maturation process of the San Antonio Spurs. Oklahoma City went through it. Golden State went through it. The Lakers went through it. Every single team in NBA history that has become a dynasty, that has won championships, has gone through that maturation process, has gone through getting their heart broken at some point in time in the playoffs, whether it's the first round, second round, Western Conference, Eastern Conference Finals, or in the NBA Finals. It happens. If San Antonio, big caveat here, if San Antonio were to win the championship, that would be the outlier for basketball history. And y'all know me, I love my history. I will always err on the side of history. That's why I think if San Antonio makes it to the NBA Finals, the New York Knicks have to be the favorite here. Because the Knicks are a hardened team. This last year, they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They fall to Halliburton and them boys, to the Halliban. This year, look at the way the Knicks have bounced back and dominated teams. The way that they dominated Cleveland last night, winning by 31 points. All of their game-winning games or series-clinching games for the New York Knicks have been wins of 30, 54, and 31. They are closing out series because they know what it was like last year to not live up to that expectation, to be so close to the brass ring and not able to grasp it. San Antonio has to learn that. The question is going to be, if they get bounced in this round or the next, how will they bounce back next season? They are missing that one guy, that veteran guy, right? Yes, they have Harrison Barnes. Okay. That's the only veteran presence they have. That's the only guy with real playoff experience that they have. They're all learning it at this point in time. And the fact that they're even in some of these games where you can say, okay, maybe they lost this because they didn't have De'Aaron Fox, they didn't have Dylan Harper, XYZ happened, the Thunder got lucky. Look at the games that the Spurs have won, and you know that they have Oklahoma City's number. It's just Oklahoma City is a far superior team than what San Antonio has right now, because they have to go through this maturation process. Augustin saying OKC should concentrate on the other guys. We will get this. Wemby will get his. But if they have to limit, Castle, that'll make a huge difference. And then he goes on to say, Wemby will get his. Oh, of course. I agree with you. It's kind of what San Antonio did in the first matchup that they had with LeBron James in the finals in 2007 when it was Cleveland versus San Antonio. Let LeBron get his. Everyone else, stop them from getting theirs. They did that in the 2013 NBA Finals. Just Ray Allen happened to be wide open in one little area after an offensive rebound, makes that bucket. Otherwise, we're talking about the Miami Heat having one championship in those four NBA Finals runs. And, of course, the way that San Antonio beat the Miami Heat in 2014. Let LeBron get his because you will never stop LeBron. It's got to be the same way that Oklahoma City plays. Let Wemby get his because you will never stop Wemby. The fact that he got the ball at half court, crosses over somebody, raises up with 3 Oklahoma City Thunder players surrounding him, and doesn't hoist up a shot, doesn't shoot a prayer, shoots an actual set jump shot from half court. And it was damn near perfect. I had to watch it multiple times to see if it even it felt like it airballed because of how smoothly it went through the net. Like one of those perfect shots where it just hits the rim but goes through the net without really moving the net. That's what happened with this shot that Wemby shot. A 7'5" guy bringing the ball up the court, stopping, shooting with 3 guys around him, contesting the shot from half court, remember, and absolutely draining it. It was just Wemby's day that day. Whenever you're Oklahoma City and you see a dude that big make that shot, you just got to know today's not our day. Let's dial it in, boys. We're just going to sit back on the bench and let this guy do his thing. Because there's no way, absolutely no way, that you can look at it and be like, damn, we've got a shot. We have something going for us here. And the thing is San Antonio built this team specifically for Oklahoma City, specifically to battle Oklahoma City. They play them tough defensively. I know I railed on it a little bit earlier. I hate the fact that Oklahoma City gets bailed out. I get it. You're the defending champions. The champion always gets the call. Blah, 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 whatever archaic mindset we have when it comes to, giving respect and genuflecting to the champion. I get that. But they should not get the foul calls that they get 90% of the time. And if you're going to call some of those ticky-tack fouls, it has to go both ways. You're finally starting to see Hartenstein get called for him grabbing Wembanyama. for Chet getting called for grabbing Wemby's arm and stuff like that, trying to prevent him from getting a rebound, which I totally understand. When the dude's that big, you got to do anything you can to stop him. I remember playing basketball as a kid, right? Being 5'10", hell, even as a young adult, right? Going to like pickup games, being 5'10", and having to guard dudes that are like 6'3", 6'4". Hell, one time at a pickup game, for whatever reason, my team made me guard some dude that was like 6'3", 375 pounds. This was a much smaller tip at the time, where I was, again, 5'10" and like maybe 200 pounds. The commish saying top of the tip, Money Mike. That just sounds weird. And say, what's up to Tommy Carranza? AHGT saying, can you do something for me? It depends. I learned a long time ago, being the youngest of 11, that I never say yes unless I know exactly what it is that I am asking. So you can ask me to do something. I will never promise that I will do it for you. But yes, you let me know what it is you want, then I will decide as a human being, as a sentient being right now, whether or not I want to do this for you. AHGT. So the best you can do, shoot your shot. The worst thing I can say is no. Although, I mean, depending on what you ask, I might not be the one. Let's just put that out there. I have this lack of a filter that I believe Keith, Augustine, Tommy, and the commish have all seen come out from time to time. You should have seen once somebody commented on a show making fun of Brandon, and I eviscerated this individual. You don't come after my people. Tommy's saying, what's up to the commish? Okay. I kind of got off track here. I've been talking a lot more about the Oklahoma City Thunder than I wanted to. Augustine saying, Brandon, we can't make fun of Brandon. No. People that know Brandon can make fun of Brandon. If you're just some random on the internet, nah, son. You don't get to come after my dude. That's my dude. That's my bitch. I get to make fun of my bitch. You don't get to make fun of my bitch. My bitch is my bitch, and I make fun of him. I need to cut that and send it to Brandon. Says, that's Logan Paul. I don't know what you mean by that's Logan Paul. I do love Logan Paul, though. I think Logan Paul is a great wrestler. I am a firm believer, and maybe this is me being a out-of-the-box thinker. I mean, we heard that a little bit earlier whenever I came up with the who the hell created time, right? I am an out-of-the-box thinker. I know Logan Paul has done some deplorable shit in his past, but I am a firm believer that you are not the worst thing you've ever done, and you are not the best thing you've ever done. You are somewhere in between. I believe there's been enough time for us to forgive Logan Paul for the dumb shit that he did as a young man and appreciate the career that he is carving out for himself. If you're into wrestling, he's done an amazing job in the ring, carrying that flag, doing things like that for wrestling. Because you also have to remember, like, wrestling is a story that started X amount of years ago that is just continuing time after time after time. The story of wrestling will continue beyond all the people that are wrestling today. AHGT saying, I don't know how fans can boo him. He's literally phenomenal. He is a hell of an athlete. I will agree with you on that. He is a hell of an athlete. Could get a little bit better, a little tighter on the mic, but he is a hell of an athlete. Him being there with Austin Theory, teamed up with Austin Theory, having Paul Heyman kind of lead him along the way, that is going to be great for him. Augustine asking, what did he do? That's something you're going to have to look up, my dude. It's in Japan. It's the reason why he's not allowed to go to Japan. It, again, just the stuff you do whenever you're young and dumb and trying to make a name for yourself. Tip, that's like saying your little brother is annoying and then your friend agrees and calls him annoying and you automatically give him the side eye. Don't call him that. Hey, we've all been there. We've all been there. Look, I can make fun of my people. And if you become my people, you can also make fun of my people. But don't come off the top rope making fun of my people. You haven't earned that yet. AHGT saying, I missed the U.S. Championship with John Cena. Oh, that was like the best time. I know that they've kind of buried it more recently. And you can see right here, well, I guess it's back here, this side. I got the old school U.S. Championship back there. That is always going to be my favorite belt. Man, finally I get someone on here to talk wrestling with me. Jesus. Although I will say this Friday, for the first time on the Under the Hood Podcast Network, Bob, Jim, and Pat get drunk on the internet. I don't know what old school wrestling we're going to watch right now or on Friday, but it's going to be a fun time. I know the Under the Hood Podcast channel, you all are new to some of the stuff that we're doing over here, but check us out on Friday night. Bob, Jim, and Pat get drunk on the internet. We're going to be watching some old school wrestling. We'll see what's going on right there. So, oh, he did that? Damn. By the way, he isn't banned in Japan. I know. It's a gimmick thing. I thought you, being someone who is tangentially into wrestling, would get the joke. Dominic Mysterio got him. There it is. Obviously saying, watch WrestleMania. Well, this past WrestleMania, I don't think they want to watch it. It was not good. Plus, a lot of commercials. A lot of commercials. All right. Got to get back on track here. Talking wrestling. I love talking wrestling. But I got to get back on track here. I got to give the New York Knicks, obviously saying watch wrestling. We have watched WrestleMania 1. You got to go back into the archives. I was thinking about it. In October will be year 6. Year 6 of Bob, Jim, and Pat getting drunk on the internet. It used to be called We Did a Podcast Once, but it turned into Bob, Jim, and Pat get drunk on the internet. We did this as our way of coping through COVID at the time. And who would have thought? A week after doing the very first Bob, Jim, and Pat get drunk on the internet, I got laid off from iHeart. Coincidence? Probably not. It's got to be 1,000% a coincidence. But again, I gotta give the love to the to the New York Knicks here, Keith Engel's team. The way that they dominated the Cleveland Cavaliers, I would have thought Cleveland could have come out, would have won a game or two, would have made it some sort of a series. But man, Cleveland just, whenever they lost game 1, whenever they couldn't hold on to the lead and lost game 1, you saw the soul get sucked out of them a way that I've never seen a team be deflated as quickly as they were. It was hard to watch what happened to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then they just weren't competitive the rest of the way. And you can see it yesterday, like they were just going through the motions. Didn't know, or I don't think they really thought they were going to win. I don't think anyone in the Cleveland bench thought that they could win that game yesterday. They get down by double digits in the first quarter and just rolled over. And it says a lot about Cleveland whenever you have the highest payroll in the NBA. You go out and you make these moves to try to get better because you want to try to win a championship. And then Dan Gilbert says, he wants to go all in. He's going to really dive in to making the team better this upcoming season. Donovan Mitchell and James Harden are like, look, we want to run it back. We want to be there. We want to be here for the success of the Cleveland Cavaliers going into next year. But whenever you look at them and you really analyze the Cleveland Cavaliers, having all that money, having all these issues, It feels like this is just the tip of their problems.
I just want to put the tip in.
It's time for
Just a Tip.
That would make me uncomfortable.
Promise that it ain't too much, but just enough. Just a tip. Just a tip.
Just the tip? Just the tip.
It's time for Just the Tip.
Just the Tip is brought to you by our friends over at www.myhappynuts.com. It is rocket science for where the sun don't shine. The best odor protection, sweat protection, anti-chafing protection that you can ask for. Guys, take care of yourselves. On this weekend, it was hot. It was muggy. I felt absolutely gross, but my boys, they were feeling absolutely amazing. My nuts were the happiest they've been in years. Not necessarily years. I probably should have said that better. Let me go back so I can fix this for my friends at www.myhappynuts.com. My nuts were the happiest they've been since the last time I used the comfort cream with www.myhappynuts.com. Not sticking to my legs, not sticking to each other. My taint wasn't full of duck butter. It was just a good time for your boy. Imagine going through all that heat. We're here in El Paso. It's 9,000 degrees throughout the entire summer, but I'm feeling fresh as a daisy down there because I've got the comfort cream or the comfort powder. I slather them up all over my hands, just grab me a handful and rub it in as best as I absolutely can. You should do the same. www.myhappynuts.com. Use promo code MikeTipton at checkout and make sure that your nuts are as happy as my nuts this summer. Destiny tuned in there at that point. I got some likes all of a sudden. Ray Jackson. I see Ray Jackson over on my Facebook page, my personal page, tuned in right now. Shout out to everyone that is tuned in on the various podcast channels that we are on at this moment. I appreciate the love and the support. Remember, you drive the show. You come up with questions. I get the answers for you. We move this show along the only way that we move this show along. Augustine saying Hustler would be proud of this segment. Tommy giving us some of the laughing emojis. Destiny saying that she's been tuned in for a while, just loves hearing how happy my nuts are. Ray Jackson saying, good morning, Ray. Hope that you're having yourself a good time, my friend. I did notice after that Happy Nuts promo that the numbers kind of went down there a little bit. We've got to get the Under the Hood podcast people used to the debauchery that is known as Mike Tipton. Augustine saying that the Champions League final is this Saturday. Arsenal versus Paris Saint-Germain. PSG, as the layman would say. You know me, huge soccer guy. Some people are saying I know the most about soccer. Football is what they call it around the world. We love football. Oh, man. I can't wait for the day that, like, people tune in and that's, like, the first thing they get is me doing my Trump impersonation. They'll either think that I'm really mean or I'm really dumb. Either way, I'm happy with it. Going over to ESPN.com, checking it out. I was looking for, like, headlines in the NFL so I can talk a little bit of NFL because I know Tommy doesn't want to talk about how dominant the Spurs were this weekend. I know nobody watched the Dallas Renegades lose against the Louisville Kings the way that I did in the UFL. I might be the only person watching UFL games, by the way. You say that you're tired of no football? There is football right now. So, just in sports, The Iranian national team is not staying in the USA. They are going to stay in Mexico and commute for their World Cup games. Understandable. Definitely understandable. It is. And I hate this because, like, normally I understand you got to be, keep the politics away from sports and blah, 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 blah. But the World Cup coming to the United States, the tickets being sold at the lowest rate they've ever been sold at because of the fear of getting detained. Like, you shouldn't have to worry about that with sports, man, especially not that one. Especially not that one. That is the world's game. Like it or not, it is the biggest game, the biggest thing in sports. It's the world's game, man. Like it's so much bigger than the Super Bowl internationally that you cannot make the fan base feel alienated at any point in time. And it's just sad that that's what it's going to be. Augustine asking, will the Congo be able to participate given the Ebola outbreak? I don't think that they are necessarily in the Congo right now, the team. They might already be in another country, like practicing and doing stuff like that. I'll have to look at that. But I mean, for the most part, the athletes are kind of quarantined off whenever it comes into, these types of sporting events. And I'm sure with, the World Cup being what the World Cup is, with the first outbreak, the, people in charge in the Congo were like, you guys stay the hell over here because you gotta represent the teams. Tommy's saying he watched a little bit. Were you watching a little bit of the UFL? Is that what it is? Am I not the only person watching the UFL? I watched IndyCar on Sunday as well, right? The Indianapolis 500. Had that going on the same time that we had the Chihuahuas game and the Spurs game going. I guess it was right before the Chihuahuas game, now that I'm thinking about it. But saw the ending of the Indianapolis 500. That was fun. Like whenever you have a race that ends within 0.23 seconds. So much fun. Tommy's saying, I don't care about the world, just America. We love America. We're putting America first. Sorry, Tommy. I didn't mean to do that to you. And Augustine saying, and the way that Kyle Busch died, complications of pneumonia. Wow. It was a really heavy sports weekend, wasn't it? Because you saw the stuff in NASCAR, you saw like the Indy stuff, F1, like all of the racing teams that were out there giving a little bit of love to Kyle Busch and his family. And admittedly, I'm not the biggest on NASCAR. I don't care about cars turning left a whole bunch. Fucking throw in a right-hand turn once in a while and maybe I'll be in, right? But seeing the way that the racing community kind of gathered around the Busch family was absolutely fantastic. It really was, especially given, so young to go through that. Like it's just, it was great to see the racing community kind of gather around them that way. Tommy's saying, I don't agree with Trump on anything, but when it comes to soccer, go be your best Trump, Tip. That's where we bridge the gap, is Tommy's hate of soccer. And Tommy did watch the UFL this weekend. I made the joke. The Dallas Renegades were eliminated from their playoff contention. 3-4 on the season right now. Louisville goes up to, I want to say, 5-4 on the season. It makes me a little sad that another team in Dallas gets eliminated. Can't spell Dallas without multiple L's. But it's okay. I mean, this is what I get for cheering on, multiple teams. And again, I don't have like a emotional connection with the Dallas Renegades, but I'm starting to develop it because I want to see them be successful. The Renegades now, I guess 3-6 is what they are in the season. I don't know why I said 3-4. They are eliminated along with the Columbus Aviators and the Houston Gamblers. Both teams in Texas eliminated. The Orlando Storm clinch a playoff spot along with the St. Louis Battlehawks. That's the greatest name in sports. And the DC Defenders. Then you have Birmingham and Louisville fighting for the last playoff spot in the UFL. It's going to be fun. Coming up this weekend, Friday night, we have the Renegades and the Battlehawks. Let's see what the Renegades can do. Just go out on a high note, Renegades. But I know the Battlehawks are one of the best teams in the NFL or in the UFL. They're a 3.5-point favorite. The Gamblers and the Stallions. Again, if Birmingham wins that game, they've got themselves a shot at making it to the playoffs. And if the Aviators find a way to beat the Louisville Kings, the Stallions make it to the playoffs. The Kings don't make it to the playoffs. All the Kings got to do is win, and they're a playoff team. Look at that. Look at that. Drama coming into the last couple of weeks of the UFL season. Augustine saying 3-6. That's the Dallas way. It has been tough for Dallas these last couple of months, hasn't it? With as bad as the Cowboys season was. Sorry about that. Jesus, I just yawned myself. I'm tired, guys. I'm sorry. The Cowboys season was bad. The Mavs season was bad. The Stars underachieved. The Texas Rangers aren't doing well. The Renegades aren't doing well. Been a bad year for Dallas. But all that means is that we will get better going forward. That's what that means. I'm an optimistic. Look at that glass half full tip. That didn't sound right, but I'm sure that that's the way that it's said, that it's done, right? Like glass half full. We're good. We should be. We're all right. Looking at baseball. It's been a while, guys. It's been a long time since we got to talk about the MLB and what's going on with the MLB. As we come to an end of May, I've got to at least talk a little bit about baseball. Yes, I know we've got a ton of season left. Still over 100 games left. That is fucking asinine. There's still over 100 games left in the Major League Baseball season. 3-6. It's the Augustine way, says Tommy. 3 wins is a lot for Augustine. I think his way is more like 1-8. That's the Augustine way, or 0-9. Can't spell Augustine Pimentel without an L. The Tampa Bay Rays with the best record in the AL East right now, 34-17. That is over the New York Yankees, who are 32-22. How they've played 5 more games, or I guess 3 more games than the Tampa Bay Rays is wild to me. But they're 3.5 games back of the Tampa Bay Rays right now. Toronto and Baltimore, Boston. I know it's early in the season, but man, you can't have any faith in those teams right now. The Blue Jays with a -12 run differential on the season so far. The Yankees with a +68 run differential on the season. The Guardians, the best team in the AL Central, is like saying you are the tallest little person in the world. 32-24 on the season. The AL Central is just bad. It's hard to watch. Detroit, 21-33, 10 games back. And this was a team that a lot of people thought might be able to make a run, but then we have to remember the way that they ended last season. Maybe it's just a hangover. Whenever you lose your division, the way that they lost the division, losing the wild card, the way they lost in the wild card, Detroit just hasn't seemed to be able to get right this year. Still, again, more than 100 games left in the season, which is just wild to say. More than 100 games left in the season. So there's plenty of time. The Athletics. And I love that they're just called the Athletics. They don't have a city because they play in Sacramento, but they're not the Sacramento Athletics, and they're not the Las Vegas Athletics just yet. Just the Athletics. The Athletics, the top team in the AL West at 27-27. You're 500. You are as average as you can possibly be, and you are the best team in that division. Shows you how bad that division is. The Texas Rangers are 24-29. They're 2.5 games back. Seattle, big dumper, went down to the minors for a little bit or on the IL for a little bit to get his swing right. Let's see if that helps out the big dumper, who at one point I think was like 0 for 29. That's a hell of a slump for a guy that won, like should have been the MVP. If you don't know who I mean by big dumper, I'm talking about Cal Raleigh. Tommy's saying we're only 12 games back, Tip. We'll turn it on later. That's right. Hey, stay 12 games back by the time like July ends and you got August and September to get some wins there. I'm with you. We've seen it happen before. So you know what, Tommy? You are right. I was wrong. I apologize. There's plenty of time for the slovenly and disgusting Boston Red Sox to try to turn it around. Gross ass team. City smells like a dumpster. I talk to my friends all the time because they tell me how much they love Boston. And every time I went through Boston, it smelled like a litter box. And I don't know if that's just my ingrained hatred for the city of Boston, being a New York Yankees fan, thinking that the Celtics were super overrated in the 50s because, yes, you had 13 straight championships or whatever, but it was also, 4 teams in the league. Like, context matters when it comes to legacy stuff. Boston just, I don't know, smells gross to me. I've never wanted to go to a game at Fenway. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you got to go see a game at Fenway Park. No, I don't. Why would I go to that dumpster fire? Tommy giving me the laughing emojis. Moving on to good baseball and not the Boston Red Sox. The Atlanta Braves, 36-18 on the season, leading the AL East. The Washington Nationals, 8.5 games back this early in the season. But again, a lot of time left. Maybe they can turn it around. The Milwaukee Brewers with a 2.5 game lead over the St. Louis Cardinals in the NL Central, and the LA Dodgers and the San Diego Padres, 2.5 games separating those two teams. The Padres, they've got some talent, and I think that this has to be the year, right? Like, this has to be the year. They have to slay the beast of the LA Dodgers, or else we're going to see a completely different looking Padres team in the future. Oh man, it's one of those difficult ones to kind of think about. How much money do you want to spend on a team to just be a mediocre ass team? That's the real question that's got to be answered here for the San Diego Padres. Looking up headlines here on ESPN. Manny Fernandez, a star on the 1972 undefeated Miami Dolphins team, dies at the age of 79. I think we spoke about the Miami Dolphins undefeated team a couple of days ago as well, right? Like, I do think it's one of the coolest traditions in sports that the members that are still around get together and toast every time the last undefeated team loses in the NFL. I think that's one of the coolest things that they have going on in sports right now, as far as like legacy, legendary stuff goes. The Knicks fans took to the streets and partied like it was 1999 because the Knicks have made the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999. That year, the Knicks lost to the San Antonio Spurs. The Knicks were the 8th seed, but made it all the way to the NBA Finals, but lost to the San Antonio Spurs. And it's an awesome story. Like, you look at the way all the shit the Knicks had to go through to get to this point. And you don't have to be a Knicks fan, but you got to feel good for Knicks fans because it's like, man, it's finally paid off. You guys have finally gotten there. You're doing a lot better. The team is doing a lot better. You got to love it. You just absolutely got to love it. And again, I can't believe the way that they dominated. Just absolutely dominated the Cleveland Cavaliers. I believe, I got to look it up right now. I believe the Spurs play tonight or tomorrow night. They do play tonight. Game 5 in Oklahoma City. The San Antonio Spurs versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. The series is tied 2-2. The Thunder are a 4.5-point favorite over the San Antonio Spurs, getting that rub for being at home. The winner of Game 5 in a 7-game series, when it's tied 2-2, wins the series 92% of the time. To say that this is a huge game is an understatement. San Antonio, you want to slay the beast? Today is the game that you have to win. You have to win this game in Oklahoma City. You've already proven that you can win games in Oklahoma City. Now's the time that you've got to do it to solidify your chance at making it to the NBA Finals. It gets you a home game, and it gets you that buffer of Game 7. But if you win this game today, Game 5, the winner of Game 5 in a 2-2 series goes on to win the series 92% of the time. This is, in my mind at least, the biggest game. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. San Antonio, how's Wemby going to play? How are the people that surround Wemby going to play? How is Oklahoma City going to bounce back? Because you know losing by 20 or more points is not what they wanted to do in Game 4. So you know they're going to try to come back. They're at home. They're more than likely going to get some calls going their way, despite the fact that you can look at 5 minutes worth of clips of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander falling all by himself in just Game 4. It's grotesque basketball. And I am saddened that my friend Tommy Cananza is cheering for the Oklahoma City Floppers, the blunder that they should be called. I hate the version of basketball that team plays. The over-under is 216.5 points. I think you got to hit the under on that. These teams have played a lot of defensive games, and even this last one was a defensive game as well. San Antonio winning 103-82. The lowest amount of points that Oklahoma City has scored in 2.5 years. Thank God for the San Antonio Spurs. All right, y'all. I want to thank you all so much once again for being a part of today's show. It's always a fun time. We have a show tomorrow. Look at us getting a Wednesday show. Wednesday shows for the foreseeable future all the way until August. We get Wednesday shows again. Look how amazing that feels. Well, amazing for me, probably torturous for y'all. But once again, I appreciate the love and support. We will see you all tomorrow. Have a great Tuesday, everybody.